I'm going to look at the relationship between ideas and focus on these linking words and but and how we can express the concept of and but in different ways. And so let's begin that discussion now. So we have a definition of a coordinating conjunction, which is what and but are. They coordinate two ideas or two words. You can see here, they can join at the very bottom, they can join two verbs, two nouns, adjectives, two phrases, or two independent clauses. And so they are coordinating conjunction. A junction is something that is in the middle. And conjoining are things that are attached. We have an expression in English, conjoined twins. Those are twins that are attached, often at the shoulder. All right, let's move on. Now that we've dealt with definitions, we're going to look at and but and variations of those two conjunctions. Why do we combine sentences? I think we need to ask this question as a preliminary question. Why are we combining sentences or combining ideas? We combine them when two ideas are closely related, or in the case of but, when they show contrast. We also combine sentences or ideas when the style dictates such unity. So maybe we want a difference in style. We've had lots of very simple sentences and now we want to make them compound at some level. And then finally, a variety of sentence length. So we like the style of it, or we think we need to have a variety of sentence lengths. We don't want the same sentence length over and over. It gets monotonous and people get bored. We don't want that. All right, so let's take a look now that we've covered that. Let's give a few examples. I think we're going to give some examples now later, so let's just move to those examples. The key idea that I want you to remember is that you should know why you are combining ideas. Why are you combining these or using these ideas together? This is important to know the reason why. Let's first look at and. I'm going to take one simple sentence and then I'm going to show you different ways that we can express this without using and. So all of you know how to use and, I think, or most of you do. I'm going to show you different ways you can express the same concept and not always have to use the word and. Are you ready? Let's do it. So, I'm having coffee and eating pancakes. Now, why would I combine those two into one sentence, those two last concepts, having or drinking coffee and eating pancakes? Because they're both occurring at breakfast. So if someone's asking you what you're doing or what you're having for breakfast, you're having coffee and eating pancakes. So that's a reason to combine those into one sentence. Now let's look at a variation of this. So the top sentence is the standard sentence, and now we're going to start to offer variations. So the first sentence, once again, I'm having coffee and eating pancakes, or I'm drinking coffee and eating pancakes. Next, the alternative is to use as well as. I'm having coffee as well as pancakes. Now, we use as well as to emphasize what comes next. So if we want to emphasize the fact that we're also eating pancakes, we can use as well as here. I'm having coffee as well as pancakes. So that sort of draws our attention to the fact that we're eating pancakes and not just having coffee. Now notice that when we use pancakes and coffee, we have to think of a verb form, am having, that matches both or that collocates with coffee and pancakes. So I can't say I'm drinking coffee as well as pancakes because you don't drink pancakes. You have to use a word that applies to both, which in this case is having. Having is a very common word here. It means lots of different things. In this case, it means drinking and eating. I'm having coffee as well as pancakes. All right. Let's move on to the next slide. If you have a question, you can write it below and I will answer it. Next we have also, but it's now in the form of a second sentence. I'm having coffee and eating pancakes. An alternative might be, I'm drinking coffee. I'm also eating pancakes. Now this is to underscore the fact that you're not just drinking something, you're also eating. And notice here we have emphasis. This is perhaps more literary, although I like to speak in this manner, but I realize that not everyone does. So it wouldn't be sort of informal for a lot of people. But these two sentences I like because it's different and people aren't maybe accustomed to this, so they might listen more closely. I'm drinking coffee. I'm also eating pancakes. All right. Let's move to our next option, which is very common, in addition to. So instead of saying I'm having coffee and eating pancakes, our third option might be I'm drinking coffee in addition to eating pancakes. Or you could say I'm having coffee. But here we have, now we move that in addition to the beginning. In addition to eating pancakes, I'm drinking coffee. All right, in addition to means something extra. So I'm lifting weights in addition to running. So I'm doing both things, not just one thing. So we might assume that a lot of people do one thing if you use this form of the sentence with in addition to. So it's not just this, it's this. Which brings us, I think, to our, no, not quite. We're going to get to that form in a minute. All right, here we have another, I think it's our last form here, isn't it? Yeah, but. So we can also use this. It's a little bit more literary, but I like to speak using these sentences, so it also can be used in conversation. Not only, but also. This is a great formula. Now, when let's just read the sentence. Not only am I drinking coffee, but I'm also eating pancakes. So here we emphasize the fact that we're having pancakes. And notice when we use not only, we have an inversion. So not only am I, it's not only I am. No, it's an inversion. We call this an inversion when we move the verb to the first position. Not only am I drinking coffee, but I'm also eating pancakes. All right. Not only am I working at university, but I'm also working at home. So you can use this in a variety of different ways. If you want to practice, you can send me in a direct message as homework. You can send me a practice one of these inversions. Not only, but also. Take a screenshot, send me, and I will correct your homework or confirm that you're indeed correct. All right, let's continue. And now we've used the word but also, and that provides our segue. Our segue is our transition. Our segue into the word, the conjunction but, which is used to connect contrasting ideas. And so this is very interesting, and we're going to look at a few options here. So let's begin. We have, we don't want that. Let's try this. All right. So here's just an example to get us going. The business people are having a meeting, but they can't reach an agreement. So we have here a contrast in the ideas. They have a meeting, but they don't agree. But let's move on to our model question or example. And we're going to use coffee. There's this breakfast motif today. A motif is a literary symbol or idea that occurs over and over. And in today's live, our motif, M-O-T-I-F, is breakfast. Even though for most of us it's evening. I like coffee, that should be a small c, but not tea. So the but shows the contrast. It's not I like coffee and tea. I like both. No, I like coffee but not tea. So but is the contrasting agent in that sentence. So let's take a look at the next one. Now we're going to use variations of the word but because a lot of us know how to use but. We're familiar with its use. I like this, but not that. So let's use I'm going to show you some alternative ways to use the word but. I like coffee, though not tea. This is nice. I like coffee, though not tea. All right, that's one. So though or although is a similar sort of effect. Although begins a subordinate clause often. Let's look at another example. So although is one option. Another option is however. I like coffee, which is a sentence. However, I don't like tea. However is stronger because it separates sentence. Well, no, it's similar, maybe a bit more formal, but maybe not. I don't like to use these descriptions because I don't think they're always accurate. However, I don't like tea. I like using the word however. I like coffee. However, I don't like tea. So however starts the second sentence. All right. Very good. Let's move to another option that we have. We've done. So I think this is our next option. Now, if we want to use the word except, then we have to generalize what you like because except functions like but except focuses on the one thing you don't like. So there are contrasting ideas. But with except, we know what the one thing is you don't like. Whereas with but, you could dislike other drinks. We don't know, but with except, we know. So I like breakfast drinks in general, except tea. So I like all drinks, but tea. I like all drinks, but tea. I like breakfast drinks or all breakfast drinks except tea. And I think you have to have the all in there. I like all breakfast drinks except tea. And this is very interesting as an alternative to the word but. All right, let's look at one more example before we turn to your questions. I think we just have one more left. Let's see. I hope we got all of those alternatives. Okay, I like this style because it's less used, which means people will take a note. They will listen to it because it's slightly different. I like coffee. I like tea less. I like tea. Now, if you want to do it in a traditional comparative way, I like tea less than coffee, which is a similar saying, a similar understanding of I like coffee but not tea. I like coffee, I like tea less. I like that first sentence. But the more common sentence is I like tea less than coffee. Or, of course, the reverse, I like coffee more than tea. All right, I hope I got all of those options. Let me just check one more time. I'm going to try this just to make sure. Yeah, I think I got all of them. Very good. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if you have any questions about what I've mentioned or been talking about.